but there are several reasons for this, right? One of the reasons is because Armenia is just now automating a lot of its bureaucratic administrative systems, right? When someone dies, it's not registered into a county registrar's office, which is connected to voter lists, which is connected to driver's license databases. That doesn't happen in Armenia. We're getting there slowly, but it hasn't happened, right? So what happens is someone dies, okay? They get registered as, you know, they have a death certificate, right? But it doesn't get, that registration does not extend to the National Police Department, which is the holder of voter lists, right? That's one of the things that's come out of this election, that those lists have to be coordinated with one another. Yes, sir.
What about the passport issue, though? I mean, all right, somebody dies, their passport is obviously in the house.
Mm-hmm.
That passport is sold or whatever?
No.
I mean, how is it, and does it expire?
It does expire. Passports do expire in Armenia. And the use of passports is a little less concerning because every passports are renewed every 5 years now with the law. It used to be every 10 years, so that was a problem, but now it's it's a 5-year cycle. So it's very unlikely that an invalid passport will make it to the next elections. It only could go through one election cycle as an invalid passport if the owner, if the holder of the passport is dead. But the bigger problem with the voter lists is that because people are registered, and it's sort of like in the United States where, whenever you move, you register on your new residence, right? And in the US, it's much easier because you register with the DMV, right? The Department of Motor Vehicles. In Armenia, you actually have to take yourself out of, deregister yourself from your previous registration and re-register yourself in a new place, right? And that is all done by the national police. And if anyone has gone through any bureaucratic process in Armenia, that could take days. And so people don't do it. I mean, people would rather travel 2 days to get to their, birthplace or hometown to vote rather than take themselves out of the registration lists of their previous residents. So that is one of the problems. The other problem is exactly what our friend over there said, that the issue really is so many people have left Armenia, right? And it's not only that they've left and are still voters in Armenia. It's not that they've left and they come and go to Armenia. That's not the central issue. The central issue is that so many people have left, which means that they do not, for all intents and purposes, exist as voters in Armenia. And many of them have become citizens of other countries, right? And ever since dual citizenship was introduced in Armenian law, where an Armenian citizen could actually hold a second citizenship, right? Voting for those dual citizens has become restricted, right? But what happens is when you don't remove names of people who've left the country, right? You have phantom voters. You have voters who could, at any given moment, whose names could at any given moment be used to fill ballots, to fill voter rolls, right? And it's a very, very difficult situation, okay? It is illegal, absolutely. It is absolutely illegal, even according to Armenian law. Yes?
But if that's true and you need a passport to vote, how does the absentee person, how does the fraudulent voter get the passport with that name? Or is that another business? That's another enterprise?
Let me answer that question with a little story. I had a staff member who, I think it was about April 15th, went to the National Police Office in Yerevan to have her passport renewed so that she could travel. She was traveling for work. The passport desk at the police office said, "I'm sorry, we're out of the paper, the watermark paper that we use for passports, and we're not going to get new rolls until after May 6th, election day," right? So one may draw conclusions from these kinds of stories that do occur, but it's a very serious issue. There are suspicions of passports, illegal passports being produced. That's something that's being investigated now to understand whether that is true or not. But the other thing that does happen is election commissions who run the polling locations are actually neighborhood leaders, right? So if you're really, you're affiliated with a political party that really wants to get its way, it's very easy to have, Alex Sardar come in with Alex Sardar's passport and vote instead of Alex Sardar and Kim Hakimian and 5 other people. And if you're lucky, there won't be any observers in the place, or if there are, they won't see it. Right, exactly. So there are ways to get around this issue, and that's where all of this that's what it all boils down to. The concept of having all of the checks and balances in place, the administrative, bureaucratic checks and balances in place, but also having the political will, which is what you're talking about, having the political will to administer fair and free elections, right? That's what it all comes down to. So there are up to 300,000 voters on Armenia's voting list on registers that are questionable. Now, what is the task? So it's a huge number. What do you do about it? Well, this is what we do about it. My organization, for instance, gives grants to small community-based groups, right, to go door to door, something that we're all very familiar with, grassroots activism, right? Door to door, and check names. Check them against passport, check them against property registrations, and to see who's living there and who's not living there. I'm sorry? Similar to a census, yes, but done by nonprofit organizations, right? Not an official process. So that's one of the mitigating actions that we do take. Because remember, we have another set of elections coming up in February. The presidential elections are going to be in February of next year. Now, the other issue that has been of concern this time around was abuse of administrative resources. What does this mean? This means the sitting president and his party, who hold a lot of both national level offices and agencies, govern them or control them, as well as local level, municipal level government, misuse the resources that are public funds, public resources, to further their political campaign. So what does this mean? This means I'm the mayor of a small town in Lori Mars in the north, right? And I basically run City Hall and all of the city parks and things like this, right? I take Republican Party, Armenian Republican Party, Sardar President Sardar Sarkisyan's photos, and paste them all over the place, right? I advertise the Republican Party on city property, which is paid for by taxpayers of Armenia, right? Which is clearly against the law, anywhere really when you look at it, but particularly in Armenia, because that's one of the easiest ways that one political party, usually the governing political party, can have a leg up on the competition, right? Now, that's a very easy one. Putting up a photo of the president on the school wall is one of the easy ones. We're talking about other things. For instance, I run, the Academy of Sciences of Armenia, right? And I understand that if I'm not in the good graces of the Republican Party, which controls the parliament, which controls the purse that funds my institution, right? I'm probably not going to have the necessary funds for research and what have you.